Hi, for those who are listening, this is the Angry Anime Fan with another discussion, another live stream I do before I take a little small trip to America. Granted, however, I won't be gone for very long. But I just thought that since All Might is such a icon that has many American-like stereotypes, why not make a discussion of it all? Also, this has been bugging me for a little while, and there's a. Well, sorry. What I was trying to say is, this is Boku no Hero Academia. From me, the Angry Anime Fan, the Despair Reviewer, just going to talk a little randomly about Class A and Class B, or Class A versus Class B. As you all know, the current arc, at least from the moment this live stream is sent, or until the channel gets cancelled, whatever, this is the time we have seen Class B first in actions. And there has been an ongoing debate, both inverse and outverse. Is that how you say it? You know, inside the story of the manga, the world of the manga itself, and even outside the crazy fans such as us or haters or whatever, about is really Class B and Class A, well, any different? I mean, I could practically just make this very short and say, no, I don't think Class B and Class A are any different at all. But there's a reason why I'm naming this Part 1. So far, from the moment of this video, that is, this battles training exercise is not over yet. And I was thinking that when it's over, depending on how it is, I think I will make a second discussion of this. But this time I will compare all the different matches and my own personal thoughts on the finale of it all. For now, this manga is just going to talk more about Class B than Class A. First of all, Class B is in the Hero Academia from Yuhei Academy, only the second class of this media, so to speak. And seeing that the timer and there is always what is that word? Sorry, I got distracted. However, just because it is the B doesn't mean it's really inferior, so to speak. Class B consists of going from order, not in the way they're seated, mind you. Yosetsu awase, Senkaiba, Togaru Kamakiri, Shihai Kuroi, Itsuka Kendo, Yui Kodai, Kinoko Komori, Ibarashi Saki, Yorota Shisuda, Nirenki Shoda, Ponisu no Tori, Kosei Tsubarara, Tetsu Tetsu Setsu no Tokage, Manga Fukidashi, Yusu Honenuki, Kojiro Bondo, Neitomo Momna, Reiko Yanaki, and Hiru Ren. As you all know, you probably will not even memorize half of the names I just said to you. Well, don't blame you. I have to look them up in order to understand them myself. So just go to the Wikia and read their abilities and all this stuff. So, but to get this, we all know the Class A characters. Although we don't know all their names, Class A is practically the main characters of this arc. Although technically that honor goes to Deku, sort of to Bakugo, although he has no right to having that honor. All Might, and then there's a rotation between Uchako, Shoto, and Ida on whoever is the next main character. But technically the 1-3 could very well be counted as Deku, Bakugo, and All Might. My point is, though, to Class B is that the most common running gag the entire manga inside the universe was the fact that a lot of people seems to hype up Class A of it all, until the fact that many Class B began to turn against Class A. And it was even the most honest hater of it all is Nieto Momoma. You guys know him as the copy guy, so to speak. So, but why does he dislike Class A so much? I mean, it seems to stem for some just serious complex of superiority complex. But granted, his match is not hasn't started yet, so it's too early to exactly judge his skills. The one time we saw his skill was during that, cabaret thing in the festival where he proved to be just a little bit strategic. but it's not exactly known how smart he is. But judging from his scan of the database, it seems to suggest that when it comes to intelligence, he is on one of the higher moments. So he may not be so very sane of his hatred of Class A, but it does seem to be smart. But how smart, we do not know yet. But what is my point of all that blabbering? Is the fact that a lot of Class B did also seem to hate it. But then it's been lampshaded in this new arc that thanks to Kendo, Itsuka Kendo, it's been pointed out that Class B actually hasn't become such a Class A haters thanks to her. She is a nice girl, although she seems a little bit too overconfident for my taste. So, but what has she exactly said to Class B that makes them less Class A haters? It's also the fact that each Class B has a distinct personality, just like Class A. So let's get to the main point, really, or try to get to the main point. Again, this is just completely talking, nothing more. In fact, I would actually need people on this discussion site to talk to, really. Maybe I'll do a part 3 where I'll try to do that. Well, if they want to talk to me, that is. There is the different time zones, you know. It's around 10 a.m. where I am now, at least. Okay, on to the point. Class A versus Class B. We have all seen Class A. We all know their quirks, we all know their personalities, and we all know their powers. However, we have only until now seen Class B's quirks, and also their powers. For a very long time, it did seem like Class A were Class B's superior, because they were attacked by villains and survived. They were sort of involved in the Stain incident. They were Bakugo was kidnapped, and yet the kids managed to save him, although not all of Class A. And finally, they were also having internships with very high-profile people. However, it's still worth noting that Class B still did a joint training together, and every single one, apparently to Momoa, passed the license exam. Not to mention that they were pretty popular in their play, although it's not exactly popular if they were more popular than Class A was. So the easiest way to sum up this, especially what I have learned from these last chapters, is that no, Class B is not Class A's inferior, but are their superior. I mean, Class A hasn't won that many matches, but neither has Class B. So I think maybe it's easiest to say that they're even. But why are they even? And how are they even? I think it has to say that Class A has something Class B do not have. And Class B has something Class A do not have. Now, what is that? Well, I think Class A, first of all, had experience. At least first. They had attacked by the villains, and they survived it. And they had more emotional moments of it all, at least from what we have seen of Class A yet. A lot of Class A suffers from emotional trouble moments. Deku is not sure of himself because of everything that happens. Bakugo suffers from extreme case of superiority complex and is slowly trying to break out of the shell. Uchako is worried that she is not catching up to real people. Suyu is very honest, but at the same time wonder if her honesty is causing a lot of people pain. Idea is feeling guilt that he is not living up to the true image of Inium, that is a selfless hero. And Shoto has emotional problems stemming from years of parental abuse from his father. And Momo suffers also self-confidence because she is supposed to be very smart, and yet at the same time not gonna manipulate that. And Jiro herself, her hobby is music, and she still wonders if she really can become the greatest music. Hell, we even have Kodai, the very big golem-like guy, has a very quiet voice and very shy, but still can make it done. And let's not forget Kirishima. He has also lack of confidence, mostly because he feels like his quirk is not confidence. Mimeta has perverted frills, but at the same time just want to be cool. And Denki, well, he also wants to be strong. And, well, the rest are a little bit more difficult to narrow down. Oh, wait, no, sorry. I cannot stop sparkling hero. He does stem from a case of I just want to be special. So yeah, I think when it comes to emotional instability or uh, emotional vulnerability, I think class A is higher than that than class B. As for experience, though, they have taken many different emotional moments and they have all come back. Have they come back stronger? Yes and no. They have become a little bit stronger, but they haven't become strongest from that. They just learned their lesson right at that moment. However, Class B, we haven't seen much of Class B yet. Granted, it's so many characters in the entire My Hero Academia that unless the author decides to do fillers for anime, which we probably won't see anything of the Class B really that much. But so far, it appears that they do not have as much emotional vulnerability as Class A has. I mean, they're still teenagers, so of course they have some angst. I can see some of the angst, mostly from Geruvada, the beast man. His powers allows him to go wild, at the same time he's smart. Ibara, the religious girl, she talks extremely dramatic, and not to mention a little bit scary sometimes. And Kendo, well, Kendo and Tetsu, they have confidence. They really do have confidence, more than Kirishima and Momo has. At the same time, they seem to have some kind of humbleness to them. That for them, victory is not like, oh, I just won over you. No, it's something you really have to earn. And they feel that even though they technically didn't beat Class A, they also didn't, I mean, although technically Class A didn't defeat them, they still felt like they lost. Pyrrhic victory, they call that. So I think what Class B has most experience with is not with villains, but with themselves, knowing each other more, as well as training up their quirks more in a more creative manner, rather than the other Class A has. So we have counted emotion and experience. What else diverts them? Is it perhaps the class dynamic? Because Class A is not yet true companions. We haven't seen that yet. I think that's one of the purpose of this manga is for the entire class to become true companions. Granted, however, they are friends. They are friends and they like each other's company. But it's not exactly noted yet if they consider themselves true companions. And actually, what does make a true companion? Someone who's willing to stand by your side just as much as you were willing to stand by them. And also accepts you for what you are and who you are. Someone who fights with you, not to prove that he's better than you, but to prove that he considers you an equal and he wants to fight with you because of that. An honor, really. Class A doesn't yet have don't yet have that dynamic. They can work together when they can work together, but it's worth noting that their co-op mode is not always working. Case in point, Momo's fight. Momo was basically the linchpin of it all. They cut her off, and only Fumikage has had to pick up the pieces, and even then he screwed it up. But they still were willing to work with each other. It's just that they have linchpins of it all. And to the Suyu fight, the first match of it all, who was the linchpin there? They relied heavily on Shinshu in a bit. Yet at the same time, they had experience, as Denki was willing to sacrifice himself in order to give his comrades a moment of it all. However, Kaminari was taken out immediately. So I think the biggest linchpin of that match was Suyu. Now, as for the third fight, no one really was the linchpin there. Although the only one who was willing to do, well, that to save his friends were Ida. So maybe in a way I consider Ida that ideal hero. Todoroki was just blasting through. And although Shoji and Ojiro were actually there for each other, they didn't really give that moment, so to speak. Class B, on the other hand, has proven to be very good in teamwork. Case in point, the first match. They lost it, but they were all close together, all coordinated their own motives. And the only reason they lost is because they didn't predict Shishu. And the second match, the same. Kendo technically was the linchpin there, but they were all there by each other doing coordinated attacks just like that. Even the third match had more combo than Class A's had. Granted, they all were in an all-out slugfest, but they helped each other when the other one was in pinch. Granted, Class A did that too, but Class B did more. So when it comes to teamwork, I think Class B has that stronger than Class A does. And that is not something that is good. Class A needs to find more teamwork, but they can work together when they can. The music festival, they all came together, all of them, and delivered one hell of a performance. Granted, however, we haven't seen that animated yet, so it's up to debate exactly how well it was. But I still think Class B is Class A superior in teamwork, at least. Then it's Quirks. Yes, we haven't seen all of Class B's Quirks yet, so it's probably too early to judge that. However, I prefer to divert Quirks into different categories. Powerful ones, technical ones, and then I try to think of a third. Speedy ones or ordinary ones. Now, what classifies as a powerful one? Those destructive ones where you have to back off. Shotos, Bakugos, Dekus, and even Idas in a way, although Ida is more for technical, I think. Those three are one of the prime examples. Even Momos can become powerful because that's a combo of powerful and technique. So does Class A have any more? Oh yeah, well, Fumikage. Yeah, we have Fumikage has been noted to be one of the stronger students of Class A, and his quirk Dark Shadow can really pack a punch when it needs to pay a punch. Sorry about that, it's just a signal. So, but the rest though, does their Class A has any more powerful quirks? I mean, they have many quirks that are very suitable for hand-to-hand. Shoji and Ojiro are examples of that. Ojiro's quirk is completely neutral, yet it works very well in close combat, although granted we didn't really see this in the match, it's noted that it can if it has. Shoji is the same. It's good for finding out everything else and then to do it all. But I think I'll go with technique and speed on that one. And then it's Jiro's. Jiro's quirk is a combination of all three in a way. It has not yet been super powerful, but Haruto Fuzz did cause destruction. But I think it's more technical and speedful, perfect for finding out. Denki's is the same. Denki's power can pack a punch, but he himself cannot take that punch, meaning he zooms out if he uses it too much. But it's technique and speed as well. Now Class B, we haven't seen extraordinary destructive quirks from them, but that doesn't mean we haven't seen them. It's also worth noting that it seems that Class B has more recommended students than Class A has, and they are the only two classes that have foreign students as well. So which quirks would we classify as powerful? Well, Gervanduan, the Beastman, that is definitely a destructive quirk. Kendo's, I think, is a combination of technique and power, because those large hands are powerful enough to crush tungsten, and tungsten is not exactly delicate, However, she still has flesh. She should feel the pain in that, but I guess size matters. The rest, though, well, Manga's powers was powerful, but he himself was not. So I think Manga's is classified as that. Do we have anyone yet? Ibara's is I think it's technique and speed. Very dangerous if you get caught. So I think it's more of a technique power. And Tetsu has strong strength, but only in close combat and makes up for endurance. So does there have any rest, though? Well, I think we have plenty more, really. But again, we haven't seen all Class B. If we come back to a part 2, we'll hopefully talk about that again, if we will, So, but when it comes to powerful quirks, I think I actually will take Class A over Class B. Because again, we haven't seen all Class B. Their powers are no means small, but they're also not working completely to the favors. Class A has more techniques, power, and speed all into one, and combining that all for it all. So I feel like that's more. And then we come to recommendation. As I said before, I feel Class A2 has way more recommendational students than Class B has. Is there a reason for that? In fact, why we know why the 3 of Class A are recommended. At least I think we know. Ida has heroic lineage. So does Shoto. So, but Ignium is a famous name. Therefore, it's only natural to be recommended there. The same with the Shoto. He comes after all from the Todoroki family. However, Momo is a child prodigy. We know that. And she's rich. We do not know how, though, she actually can get recommended. But I guess maybe because she's so rich and so intelligent, it's not so difficult to find someone who can recommend you. Now, Class B has a lot of recommended students, and also a lot of aces who aren't even recommended students. Let's see, who are they? Setsuna Tokage was one. Yoso Hunenuki was another. And who was the third? I know we had a third recommended student. Or did we really just have those two? No, we cannot have those two. I know we had one more. Ugh. I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe we really just did have 2 recommended students. And maybe I was thinking wrong. I mean, what I'm trying to say is Class B has a lot of aces of it all. The case in points, Yorota, the Beast Man, Itsu, Kendo, and Ibara are in a way very great aces to this competition, but they're not recommended students. It's strange though. I thought for sure that Class B had at least 2 more recommended students, but I guess they only had those 2. So maybe Class A really is superior when it comes to recommendation. But however, would we still classify Class B as the more, better recommendation? Yorota, the Mudman's quirk is extremely flexible and good for technique. It's not powerful like Shoto's is. However, it works very well in advantage. We haven't seen Setsuna's yet, but it's noted she plays dirty, so I guess we'll see that soon. So I think it's a draw there. I don't really know. For Class A, Class B has more aces than Class A has, at least so far. And finally, we come to not recommendation, but internship. We haven't seen Class B's internship. We have only seen Tetsu and Kendo's, and those were nothing special. So is it possible that Class B has studied under any of the ranked heroes? I think they have. I do think Class B has studied under any ranked heroes. We do not know who yet. But if we were to take one, who would it be? Well, Tetsu would work well with that old samurai guy, I think. And then we have the rabbit girl. Who could she take? Kendo? I mean, she fights with her legs, and Kendo fights with her hands. No, I don't know. So there is also Class A is currently winning that. Also, for some reason, Class B has a lot of foreign students. Well, a lot too, actually. Hiroya Rin, who comes from China, and Ponitsuna, who comes from USA, where she's half Japanese, half American. Why are they the only ones who have that? We don't know. This is basically a little bit of the discussion I was trying to do. Just random talking and jabbering about Class A and Class B. Because I feel like Class B is not Class A's inferior. But are they're superior? That is also not answered yet. So I think the rivalry between Class A and Class B is perfectly fine. I mean, that way they can improve each other. However, hatred towards them should just not exist. I mean, it's silly. They should have rivalry against each other to prove that they can be each other's better, but not more than that. So this is basically this discussion of it all. What are your opinions on Class B or Class A? Or take Class A, no, B for this time. Who is your favorite students? Now let's see, do I have any favorite students? Well, Ibarra scares me, but she has a very nice design and nice power, so I think I go with her. Do I have anything else? Well, Kendo is fine, although I don't really like her that much. Pony, I felt like she has potential, but currently that potential is wasted. So I think I'm ranking Ibara, Pony, and then finally Yurata Shishida, the Beastman, as my current favorites of it all. There's also the guy Kosei Tsubara. He has a slightly perverted side to himself. I like that. Also, we do not know all of Class B's hero names yet, which I find is a flaw. We need to find out every single one by the end of this arc. This arc is not bad, it's just not so hype. It's just a break arc until the biggest despair. And it's going short, which means a lot of people are getting worried. But what do we expect from this arc? Well, we are just to expect to see how the Class B works. We're also to see if they can work together more. We're also to see if Shishu is going to join the class. And finally, a countdown to despair. I just know we're going to have despair after this. So that's all for this. That's all she wrote from this discussion. Give me your thoughts, if you have any.